So it's me again, Sarah. I am currently taking a lunch break because I had this divine idea and I decided we need to talk about it. I did. I do believe that my little storyline does deserve an introduction. It does deserve an explanation. I have a ton of friends and experience with those who have been diagnosed with bipolar. And this message that I have today are for those who have been diagnosed with bipolar. My best friend and many of my friends in my circle, I probably know like 5 people, and 4 out of 5 have bipolar. Anyone I meet, I naturally just kind of intend to gravitate towards those who have bipolar. I dated a man who dated a woman with bipolar, and we had a lot of conversations about that. My ex-husband also was diagnosed with bipolar after we got divorced. My sister-in-law, to the most majority of my nephews, also has bipolar. Bipolar is just around me. Yet, I have only been diagnosed with PTSD, having depression and anxiety as symptoms. I asked my therapist, what is it? Why am I attracting all these bipolar? He said I had the energy level to keep up. I say I have the ability to feel deeply, not on the level of some who have been diagnosed with bipolar, because there is a spectrum, okay? There's not one size fits all, as I tell you guys. I also have a tolerant personality. I am not out to necessarily correct that, and I'm understanding, and I do allow you to feel what you want to feel. So I have been doing so much work on myself lately, and it seemed to just connect, and it is really related to what I've been doing for myself. This message is for those with bipolar. I am not here to convince you or to redirect any kind of treatments or therapies or medications, or to try to make you believe in something you don't believe. If you have qualm with the law of attraction, if you have a qualm with your own direct influence on your life experience, on your choices, on your emotions, and on your thoughts, if you have qualm with God, the universe, divinity, you will not receive my message. It is simple. You have work to do in yourself. You have whatever it is. Maybe you don't want to believe. Therefore, you will not receive my message. Though this is supposed to be an uplifting for those who have been diagnosed and maybe want to hear about why I think you were born with a superpower. That is right. When are you ever going to hear someone say you have a superpower? Because I think you do. It is very much related to the law of attraction. If you are unfamiliar, just research it. Read some Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks and dive in, because it's just about feeling better, and it's very simplified as you ask and you shall receive. Of course, please, really simplifying it. Humans make this complicated. We fuck things up, and there's a ton of books and there's a ton of videos out there because we are always asking different questions, but the answers are always the same. It's quite, just go on YouTube. From the law of attraction, if you accept it on any varying degree, then you accept your own participation, contribution to your experience on any degree. So if you accept on any degree of law of attraction, then you do know that you do play a part, and you do have control into your destiny, your experience in your life. What we know is that we have to use our emotions to guide and navigate us to our goals. I have an example of weight loss. If I decided and I intended to lose weight, if I eat a cake and I believe that cake is going to cause me to gain weight, then the emotion that will result from me deciding to eat cake and the thought of eating cake is going to be negative. And that will tell me, indeed, I'm not being true to my goal, to myself. I'm not being true to what I want, and I'm not following my line, my path that I decided I wanted to go on. If I eat a salad, and I believe the salad is the key to me losing weight, then that decision, the thought, the action will make me feel good. I will feel at peace. I might feel joyful that I ate a salad to lose weight. So, emotions are our indicators where we are in our path to our goals. What I know from those who have bipolar is you are so sensitive to subtle changes of emotion. Either end of the spectrum, you can tell when you go from slightly to slightly happy. You can tell when you're going from slightly happy to slightly depressed, and all of the various levels and degrees of your spectrum. I just had a thought too. I'm going to have to add it in prompt. The purpose of the law of attraction is to expand our world, to expand our universe, to expand our lives. People from various religions, they have also described it as you're here to grow, you're here to learn, you're here to be better. And maybe better is not necessarily meaning that you're wrong and you're bad to begin with, just that there's always going to be a higher place for us to go. And our emotions tell us how to get there. And if you're sensitive to these emotions, I imagine that in the moment that you see that you're going the depressed way, and you have that ability to sense it before I can, or before anybody else who may never been diagnosed with any kind of mental condition, whatever, if you're able to detect the differences and then redirect your thoughts sooner, imagine how much more of expansion and creation you do. You're like the creative geniuses of the population. Because as I've seen, diagnosed with bipolar doesn't mean you're not a functioning in our society. You're not a functioning adult. As from what I've seen, you are dealing with society in your own your own boundaries. And your irritation of people, maybe your manic depression, is all because you can't be defined by the boundaries that society has labeled you and placed you. You are not meant to exist in the little box that everybody thinks you should exist. And if you were allowed the opportunity to just truly be yourself, be who you want to be as radical and creative and as a genius as you want to be, I can't imagine what would come from that. It would just be so mind-boggling and amazing and superb. It's your superpower. You're the master of your creation. You have the sensitivity to know the most subtle changes of your emotions so you can tell the changes if you are on your path or not. Before if anybody else can, you do more and you're able to do more. And that's beautiful. And that it truly is. Like, your problems is just trying to fit where you don't necessarily need to fit. And it should be our job to, just, allow you to stretch your arms. Now, if you know anything about the law of attraction, you know that we are all in level, our relativities, we're all over the spectrum, okay? For me, I'm not necessarily feeling joyful. I'm just working on not feeling anxious. So, whatever program you're on, whatever therapy, whatever regimen, whatever works for you, I'm not replacing that. And I'm not simply saying, because there will people be like, no, I just cannot think myself better. You're right. If that's how you feel and that's what you believe, you're right. Then this message is not for you. But maybe the next time that you feel down, you can just remind yourself that you are superhuman. You do have a superpower. You do notice the subtleties of your emotions, and you can, at that moment, just redirect your thought to something that slightly feels better. Just something that makes you not feel as bad. It's really, there's that. You just don't feel as bad. I can give you an example with my anxiety, okay? I have so much because I just make it for myself. I create my own anxiety. You can, all right, so me, I go in, I go, oh my God, I'm anxious. Why am I anxious? And I'll say, I'm anxious because of A. I'm anxious because of B. I sat down and said, why am I anxious today? And I realized I was anxious because I was anxious of being anxious. Yes. I made myself anxious because I was anxious. Because I was thinking of, so what a cycle. What a cycle. So you have to remind yourself, all right, there's a story that I remind myself when I'm like, I'm worried. My anxiety is going, because I'm anxious, will play into me not being what I want to be. There's a big truck that can pull a car, right? Or a bus towing a car. The car brakes are on, but it still is moving through time and space. It's still on the highway. It's still being towed by that big bus or that big truck, despite the emergency brakes being on. So no matter my anxiety, even if I create myself stupid anxiety, if my dominant vibration and my dominant thoughts, and I'm really dominantly still moving forward, no matter if my emergency brakes are on, I'm still gonna reach my destination. Yeah, I might have to replace those brakes, but guys, I challenge others to see a good positive life in anything, and change the word. You're not suffering from bipolar. You're suffering from a society that can't appreciate you. All right? We're just living with creative geniuses all around us. And I applaud you. Way to go, you guys. Thanks.